It's going. 3, 2, 1. Okay, live on Instagram.
We
live on Facebook. Live on YouTube.
everywhere.
Okay. What are we talking about today?
Well,
Because no one's watching.
First, we should probably get to our sponsors. Right?
I'm over this. But
Say
okay.
thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you to Reptile hats. Stupid shit. What else?
Thank you to fidget spinners for being the #1 reptile enrichment tool since last week.
Did
so
someone
another
put
thank
one
you
on
to fidget
something?
spinners. What?
Is there a video?
There's everyone put something on something.
Like some gecko or someone. I don't know.
Everyone. If you have a snake, you got to put a fidget spinner on them. It's for anxiety. Snakes with autism, alligators with autism as well. All your reptile needs.
Okay.
Thank
you, fidget spinners.
Because they need advertisement right now because they're struggling.
They're doing so bad.
Yeah, they were on the up and up, but they'll decline in a day.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Real stuff. What are we talking about today?
A bunch of different things, but there was something that I was like, I'm getting a little bit more salty about the Instagram thing. Just a little bit more salty about it.
What do you mean about the Instagram thing?
All right. So you take your pictures, right?
Yes.
And then people repost them, and that's awesome. And I really like that. But don't put your watermark on it, right? You can't. Watermark is a sign of ownership, correct?
But in the caption, if they give you credit, does that make it okay for them to put their watermark on your picture?
Yeah, but the only reason why you would have a watermark on a picture is because if it gets shared elsewhere, then you still get credit for your picture, correct?
If it got shared again, do you think that person would still give the original person credit? Probably not.
Yeah, it would lose its grandeur through, if I did that one meme and I put my watermark, which would be stupid because it's a meme and like a meme's a meme. It's funny. Like, I don't care who takes it. It's not, I didn't take the Salt Bay picture.
Right.
But, and then, I saw multiple people saying that they made it, but who cares? I don't really care about that. But it's a picture of my animal. And then you're putting your logo on it, that someone's going to repost that, and then that all of a sudden seems like
it's your picture.
Yeah,
and not
your picture of your animal. It's not that bad. But also, why I'm a little bit saltier than I was in the beginning is because I tried to interact with the person. I left a comment and kind of opened a conversation, and they didn't even get back.
Right. They didn't respond.
And first, it was nice because I saw that they had a bunch of followers, a lot more than me, obviously.
So it was nice that you got these, but
I don't think I did really, because I think that most of their followers are fake. Because there's no way that you're putting out pictures, you're getting 400 likes, and you're getting 0 comments.
I went through all the people that liked it, and they were all real.
I don't know how that works, how the buying engagement fake people works. But there's no way that was a real person, or that there was, because on my pictures, even on my pictures, 10% of the people who follow you and then 10% of those may comment. So I get a few comments every picture.
But that person was getting 400 likes.
But that person was getting 5 times the likes that I get with no comments. I don't know
how it happens, but
I
clearly
smell fish. But I mean, if you're going to do that,
but I mean, if you're going to cut me off, I know you're salty about it and you're getting heated about it, but at the same time, he has lots of followers, so he might have exposed you to new people, fake or not. He put your name in the caption and he said, "Thank you for the picture." I don't know.
And then put his watermark on it.
I don't know why he chose to put his watermark on it. I don't know, but
I love when people repost my pictures.
Yeah.
And I always say thank you and stuff like that. But they don't watermark the picture with their logo and their name on it.
I don't know the reasoning behind. There must be some reasoning behind
marketing, but do the fucking legwork and take your own pictures if you want that. If you want your logo to be spread, then do the fucking work and take your own pictures, right?
Right. But I guess he gave you
all I'm saying is he was trying to market, but it's I'm doing his hard work.
Right.
And he's not engaging on social media also.
Well,
which
maybe
is
he doesn't
like,
care
if
about
you're
that.
I know, but then do the work or don't have it. I mean, that's
so
it, man.
Him putting the caption, your name in the caption, didn't make it any better for you. Like, it didn't.
No, that's fine. It's
but it doesn't
changing my
but
picture.
That's what I'm saying. Putting the caption doesn't offset using the watermark for you at all. Okay.
Or use the repost app where it's much more clearly my picture.
It's your picture, right? Instead of, he clearly had to like screenshot your picture, cut it, put it,
and then look at my comment, and then have me comment and not answer.
Right. And he used your same caption, which
and
I thought was funny.
Same caption, but and like, I don't know, I'm all for good marketing and stuff like that, but at least good marketing is also getting back to the people that follow you on social media and that are trying to interact with you. I try to comment back to everyone that comments on my stuff. So at least comment on the picture that you stole from me.
Is it stealing?
When you put your own watermark on it.
Is it stealing when you give credit?
Yes and no, but there's no reason to put your own watermark on it. I don't know.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, if you're a photographer, and I think he was targeting people with followings at around because I looked at every picture, every person has somewhere between 1,200 and 1,700 likes.
You did a lot of stalking.
Yes, but I wanted, because it's for market research, see what he's trying to do. So I believe what was happening that thank you, Austin.
Sorry, Austin said, I think you're right.
I think he's targeting.
I'm gonna read Austin's comment.
Austin said, I think you are rightfully upset. I would be pissed. Yes, because what he's doing is targeting people who aren't big enough to stand up and not want the
watermark removed.
Yeah, for people who say that exposure is worth me losing the right to my picture. So somewhere between that exposure is worth that. But his
we're
fucking
not.
followers are fake.
We're not.
His followers
I don't
are
think they're fake.
They're fucking
I don't
fake,
think they're
dude.
fake. I don't.
Bullshit.
Okay, I went through 200 likes. They were all real people. All of them.
Yeah, fucking people in India. Dude.
I don't know why no one comments. Maybe because they know it's not his. Because think about it. A lot of the comments.
Then what is it worth?
Can I finish?
Okay.
A lot of the comments on your pictures are nice snake man, yada, yada, yada. People can't say nice snake man because his aren't his snakes half the time. So maybe that's why people aren't
a lot
commenting.
of the big Instagram people repost other people's things, but comment.
Still,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll start a conversation because people want to start a comment. That's social media in general. People want to start a comment or a conversation all the time.
I don't know why no one comments on his page. But I mean, literally, it seems about half of his pictures are not his own.
No, all of them, 100% of them.
Oh, none of them are his own?
Yeah.
Well, that's fucked up.
Besides,
how do you not take one picture of your
designs
own?
For his t-shirts and shit. So what I'm saying is he's using all of his marketing, his jabs, which are going to be marketing terms. So your jabs are going to be providing content, providing, good information. He's taking that all from other people. And then his right hook is saying, here's my fucking shirt. Can you buy it from me? He didn't provide the jabs. We did. We did all the work.
And
then he's selling his fucking shirts off of it. Now I'm getting saltier via, I don't know.
You're getting more and more angry because Austin justified you and you're getting more angry. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as invested as you.
I don't care. I don't think about that all day. But all I'm saying is that I don't think that's exactly the best practice to do.
But you don't want to reach out to him and ask him to remove the water. I mean, it's already up there.
Yeah. And plus, I already tried to reach out to him and he doesn't say anything.
But you could.
I did something really fucking specific to him to where he would have to comment back to me.
But you could still respond, or you can message him and say hey dude, thanks for sharing my picture, but in the future can you not put your watermark on it?
No, yeah, absolutely.
I would definitely.
And also it's someone who had a reptile business and sold it, and then I just feel it's someone who's dipping their toe in the industry
when he's out of it.
Just to sell. Well, no, but just to sell constantly. I think he thought that this would be a good niche for him. And I don't think it's 100% kosher.
It's just not giving credit where credit's due all the way.
Yeah.
At least.
And I mean, he could definitely use it to like uplift some, but I don't think they're real fucking followers, man.
That's your
I don't
own
know,
prerogative.
whatever,
That
dude.
they're like, okay, in the future, if you're gonna take someone's snake picture, do not put your watermark
Do not
on
put
it.
your own watermark on it. Just like a wedding photographer. You
That
ever
shit's
see they have their
annoying.
fucking watermark on
And
it?
everyone
I
hates
don't go copy and paste off someone else's website, put my fucking watermark on it and say it's
Mhm.
mine. Here, come get pictures.
Well, he's not saying it's his, but if it ever gets shared
if it
again,
ever goes anywhere else, but
that
or if someone doesn't click more on the fucking Instagram,
right? Because when you sent it to me, I thought
dot
he stole
dot
it. It says you have to click more.
motherfucker gotta click more in order to get
Yeah.
saltier as we
Okay.
go on.
Well, maybe we should change the subject since you are getting so angry about this.
Yeah, it's just hard because I take pictures every fucking day, right, of
Mhm.
snakes. So it's like I go out of my way to take pictures.
Right. And so you want that full credit to you.
Yeah,
your
maybe he
picture.
should take pictures every day of animals that he doesn't have because he doesn't have any.
He doesn't have. How do you sell t-shirts when you don't have any animals?
Because you like to find a niche and then monetize off of it over and over again without actually being as invested as so many of us are, because you think you're a genius marketer so you can sell anything, but you don't find out that, we're dedicating our lives to this. We're not just marketing a product to be sold.
Mhm.
We're doing this every single day, fucking grinding it out, not
wouldn't
trying to
he know
monetize
that?
because in the future, because for him, this is not for him,
Bring
but
it
for other
down.
people, this is, a year, make your money, get out. This is a few years. For a lot of us, it's our whole lives we've invested into breeding reptiles, into building up our projects, stuff like that. So it's like,
but didn't you say he used to be in the industry? So shouldn't he know that?
yeah, he sold within like a few years, though.
Oh, okay.
So what you did was make your money in throw money in ball pythons, make your money in ball pythons, sell, and then start
Do
other
some weird
stuff, move
marketing
on.
stuff.
Yeah, because you didn't have the day-to-day grind of taking care of the animals. You didn't want to do that.
Got it.
Because you can't just make a short-term you can't make your short-term money off of reptiles. A real business.
Mhm.
It takes years and years and years and hard work and every day, and you're going to get discouraged along the way. Right. So
and he
if you're
just
not
got out.
100% into it, then you're donezo within a couple of years because there's so much work.
Right. But maybe he's still interested a little bit. And so he's like, okay, I'll just repost other people's pictures for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I mean, that seems easy. I find a nice picture that, is one of the top posts in one of the tags, and I say, oh, that's a really nice picture that someone worked, probably, an hour a day on every single day for a year on their Instagram. And we're going to take that picture and repost it on our page, write their own caption, ... it until you can't see that credit was due, and then put our watermark on it. And then it's mine. And then I get more followers, and then everyone loves me. And then that's it.
Okay.
Have we exhausted that?
Yes. What's the like beaten a dead or whatever the expression is? Yeah. I think we
got a new snake today.
Oh, great transition, Bean. that was awesome.
But yeah, apparently FedEx was having some delays and
some
weird
I saw
stuff
that.
was going on.
Was there weather stuff?
No, it seemed like it was a hack.
No, it got hacked.
And then they also mentioned weather in the end. Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Damn Russians.
Yeah, it was a Russian hack. Well, Trump actually told them the password to the FedEx database. So the Russians got into it and decided to fuck up all the live animal shipments to really stick it to us. So that's what's going on there. It's rough, but I think we'll recover because my snake came on time.
When did your snake get shipped?
It got shipped yesterday.
From where? From
Alabama.
Oh, well, that's just 2 states over.
Yeah.
It wasn't a long distance travel.
Yeah, I mean, just like the last time, the FedEx guy comes pretty much right before the cutoff for when it's supposed to come.
Did he knock on the door
and
this time?
He basically, because first of all, let's go into this shit.
Okay, you're going to get salty about something else.
Let me
get ready.
This is, all right, I paid $35 for this snake.
Okay.
Let's put some background on why I paid $35. $35 because it was an animal that was feeding, on a specialized prey item, which was boiled pinkies, which I didn't know people.
I didn't know that
I didn't know that
specialized.
was a transitional thing, but so I said, hey, if it fits into my projects that I have now, if I just put in the time to make it eat regular pinkies, and this will work out for me, and I'll be able to breed her and everything like that. And it's a really good deal for $35.
Right.
And yeah, for an animal that I would like anyway. So like, sweet. So I emailed him, sent him the money, everything. He kept in contact with me like the whole time through every, like, hey, this is what the weather's going to be. Hey, this is what's going on. We probably emailed like 10 times for a $35 snake.
Good customer service.
Yeah. So and then today it comes in and it does have like a cold pack. It has proper packaging.
Does it
has
say
live
on the
reptile
outside?
on the outside.
Okay.
It says one corn snake and then the Latin name. And then you know, everything was 100% when you open it up, live reptiles. And then also it says even his branding on the outside.
I saw that.
So it said Walter
box.
Smith Captive Creations, which shout out to Walter Smith Captive Creations. He does colubrids, mostly corn snakes out of Alabama. And so, yeah, I mean, everything was 100% good. But, you know, the point of this was that he doesn't know who I am. This is my first time buying from him.
Okay.
So I could be, you know, some kid who's never going to buy from him again. And he wasn't making any money. He's been raising this snake for months, giving it food.
And selling it for $35.
And selling it for $35.
He put more than $35 into
he put
it.
more, the packaging and the cold pack, all that probably cost him $10 to $15 alone. Okay. Not to mention producing an animal, corn snakes come out to about $15 each to produce.
Okay.
So it's a $15 snake, you know, any snake's $15 snake, plus it's an amelanistic stripe, which would het for Anri. So
you never said what the snake is, by the way.
Oh yeah. So I should say it was an amelanistic stripe sunglow, which is just a line bred amelanistic, which is just a higher quality amel corn snake. So it's just bred for that bright orange, bright red. But the fact is he was making zero money on it. He went like way out of his way to be like amazing customer service, keep me updated, packaged it perfectly, sent it perfectly, and everything was fine. And it didn't come in, you know, delayed like FedEx said at night. So I just want to say that he was making zero money. If not, he lost money, but he still put in the effort. So I think in the future, I'm going to give him a bunch of business because he's not the other guy who sent it in an unmarked box from Georgia, which is illegal. Like, and why do that short-term sketchy shit? I'm never going to buy from you again. Why don't you do exactly like it? Just makes so much sense to put in that extra mile, even if it doesn't pay off for you this time.
You can make a long-term customer.
You can make a long-term customer out of someone, and you don't know who that customer can be. You know, it might be someone who gets one time, but I think you can't expect everything to happen. You know, like you can't expect everyone to be like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And then he's like, yeah, if you would like, because I told him I appreciated everything. He's like, yeah, if you would like, just leave me a review on Facebook. So like, I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah, works
so
both ways.
It was like, yeah. So like he provided me a whole bunch of value and a good snake and everything. Like, yeah. And then of course I'm going to give him a review on Facebook. Plus, you know, I talk shit on this podcast and I made a video of it. So like triple over, he's getting exposure. Right. So it's like that, I think is going to pay off for him a lot more, not just me, but maybe other people a lot more in the long term. Because if you see a lot of my corn snake videos, it's, hey, who did you get your corn snakes from? That kind of thing. So,
weren't you already planning to get something from him in the future?
Yeah, exactly. So, so yeah, I thought that was
thank you, Walter Smith.
Lesson in marketing / business / fucking being
good customer service. Yeah. Well, I think that's a factor in snake breeding. You know, we always talk about like you're either really strong in the breeding or you're really strong on the business side. And people can even be really strong on the business side, but the whole customer service, which is a factor of business, kind of falls to the wayside sometimes, I think, in snake breeding.
And he's someone with a giant collection who is probably very hard to take care of all of his animals. This is one of the busiest times of the year. Also, you know, just putting everything in place, you know, that's him taking out a lot of time to just deal with me where he's making no money.
Right.
And
so the fact that he is a big time person and still did that is nice.
Yeah.
And you have other people who are much smaller and, you know, don't give you the time of day. when you're buying snakes from them.
Right. I spent $1,000 and all I got
on the other one
was an illegal transaction that I didn't have any idea in because he lied where it was being.
But this one was
shipped out.
$35.
Exactly. So it's like I paid $1,000, got none of that, and I basically he paid me to take a snake.
What made your snake only $35 that you just bought?
Because, like I said, it just had a little that feeding issue for the boiled pinkies.
Why would a
because typically if it's going to be a pet or something like that, or even for breeders, you want something that's going to be easy to feed so you can just feed it along with everything else. For him, it's very hard to be feeding thousands of babies, when they start hatching out, and then to have one specialized where he's got to boil this one.
Right, I'm just thinking what makes that one special? Like, what if they all came from the same clutch? Why did that one need special?
There's always picky ones in the group. But Andrew Boring, sorry if I messed up your last name. But random thing, I really like your videos and your snakes are amazing. So thank you. I wanted to acknowledge that. And I guess
you're tooting your own horn right now.
Well, no, because we read all the comments out.
Okay.
So, I might as well read that one.
Read that really nice one. Well, thank you.
Because we put time into this stuff. Believe it or not.
Yeah. What do you mean, believe it or not?
It takes a long time to make YouTube videos. I don't know if people realize.
If they're into the YouTube scene or whatever, they would know, because I think a lot of the big YouTube people talk about.
Because I mean, the video is so easy, but it's the editing that takes time, and then also the conceptualizing everything.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I hope he likes your new one. What is it again? Sun glow stripe het anery.
So it's going to be. I have a snow tessera het for stripe. So I'm gonna put those together eventually, so I can get some snow stripes and snow stripe tesseras.
Possibly some snow stripes.
we're talking triple recessive and an incomplete dominant. So the odds are against us. But if we do it for like 20 years in a row, I mean, we're bound to hit something.
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah. Remind me, between the snow tessera and the Sunglow stripe, what has the greatest chance of coming out?
That's hard to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, single recessives, but yeah, I don't know. You just gotta breathe it out. There's too many genes that you're working with. I mean, you're just gonna get what you get.
Do you think breeders usually shy away from stuff like this, where the chances of what you're gonna get is so varied?
Yes and no. At this point in the corn snake market, you can breed just things with 1 million recessive genes in it because people are just buying for look. So you may create something new, something that looks cool. Either way, the snake, unless it's scaleless or palmetto, it's not going to go over $200. So
okay, so just get something
get something cool, and then someone will buy it if it's cool enough.
Okay,
that's really it. So you can just breed a whole bunch of things together, hope for stuff. And that's all good. It's not like ball pythons where you invested the $1,000
to get that one specific,
snake. So hopefully you hit that one specific combination. It's more of a fun, let's see what we make.
Toss it up.
Right. I mean, ball pythons is getting to that because it's just more and more genes are in play, more recessives. There's more people breeding, so there's just genes in play. But corn snakes have been around for so long that you may have animals that have a whole bunch of hets that aren't exactly on paper. That
so you can have 6 het genes in one snake.
You can have as many hets as.
That's crazy. That just means they're just mixing.
I wonder. I mean, there must be a ceiling for that, but I don't know.
There has to be.
And the thing is, corn snakes are pretty much all recessive.
Right.
So it's like.
So you won't know.
Ball pythons are mostly incomplete dominant, so you have a better grasp of things are going to be visual. So,
but for corn snakes, it's a little bit harder. There has to be some cap of the amount of het genes.
There's only so many alleles on your DNA, right?
Again, biology, not my favorite. But
I wish.
Isn't there there's I don't know in snakes, but in us we have the double letters helix? DGRAT, and they can match. Is that how it's with snakes too? They got letters.
I don't. We're gonna start sounding stupid if we go too much.
into the biology. Well, I
Alright.
would think you can't just have unlimited het genes because then you'll explode. I don't know.
Yeah, the snake will
The
explode
snake will
at
explode.
6. But it is always a danger because these mutations are mutations. Most mutations are lethal. You know, mutations are cancer. Mutations are, you know, different diseases, stuff like that. So luckily, these are just visual mutations. But who knows? Put these mutations together, you might get
You don't
something
know what
lethal.
they'll
You might get some weird stuff. I know some mutations, especially in ball pythons, feed better than others. Some,
Mhm.
you know, have different quirks and, you know, obviously neurological issues and
That
stuff
can
like
come
that.
out,
Yeah.
right.
So,
But it seems like the chance for mixing them for corn snakes is less lethal, or the danger is lower.
I mean, there's always that gene that will have that effect, but, you know, different genes that have that effect. But
it seems like people are just mixing. So
yeah. I mean, especially because a lot of them become outcrossed because you're mixing so many others. It's
that
not
cancel each other out.
right.
Okay.
But not to cancel each other out because no
Oh.
matter what, it's going to be a broken gene.
Okay. So then what do you mean by outcrossed?
Wild caught animals, so it's not.
Oh, okay. So you're not mixing your own at some point. You mix it to something that's out there.
Or you're mixing it to an Okatee, like Palmetto, Coast Exotic says Abbott line, Corns will forever be my favorites. And those aren't even gene mutations. Those are a guy breeding, you know, Okatee locality.
Okay.
So if you start out crossing an Okatee to something with gene, you know, with mutations, stuff like that. I mean,
then you'll get Okatees with it.
You're much more, you outcross a lot more than say in ball pythons. But
that's because you're just not trying.
And it's a snake that is from the U.S.
Right.
So
what does that change?
Meaning that a lot of people more often, you know, wild catch snakes.
Oh, okay. It's just a lot easier for them to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then every time usually you get a new mutation, your first move is going to be to breed it to a wild caught or just a normal that you know is 100%
so
normal.
You can get what you want.
Well, so you know if it's a gene that's passed on, because there are some mutations that happen but are not inheritable.
Then how did that one get it if it's not inheritable?
It may be some type of environmental change. So you could definitely, maybe in an egg, if you have some spikes, it usually comes in a series of or it manifests as physical deformities. So it's usually going to be, you know, a ball python has a shorter lip or something on the bottom, or it has kinks, so it didn't develop properly, or you can even get wacky patterns, stuff like that and
that's environment?
From not incubating at a stable temperature or sudden spikes in incubation.
But aren't you messing with trouble?
No, you don't want to try to do that. Those are all by accident. But I'm saying if it's a wild snake and you catch it outside
and it has
something wonky's going on with the pattern and you breed it in and then nothing comes out and then you breed those back to each other and it's not a recessive, it's nothing. It's just something
that happened.
Something that happened randomly. Maybe, you know, like people have birthmarks. So if you have a birthmark and you create a baby, you're not going to pass that exact birthmark around.
Create a baby.
If you create one in a lab in a petri dish, like most do, right?
You're not going to pass that on.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. But are those more common in ball pythons versus corn snakes? Those non-inheritable mutations, or
I don't want to say yes, but there's definitely more of a market for looking at those weird things. But I've seen a lot more just because I've probably seen a lot more big ball python breeders, their facilities, their incubators, stuff like that. But I see them all the time, them having snakes with, you know, messed up jaws and kinks and stuff like that. And they say, hey, yeah, like my incubator shut off for a day or something like that. Like it's very attributable to this specific event that happened to
do
us.
They still sell those, or do people still buy those?
Usually, I mean, if it's so bad, then obviously it doesn't survive. But usually you may sell it as a pet. I mean, if you saw Walter posted, he made a scaleless and he was so happy, and then it goes down and you see that it has a kink all on its tail. Cloaca is, so you know it's not going to be, their vent where
No, I did
Snakes,
not
unlike
know that.
humans, they only have one hole
I did not know it's called a
where both
cloaca.
things happen.
Got it.
You know?
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
it was kinked all in there. So you can imagine, especially if it's
not gonna
female, it's
breed.
not going to pass eggs.
Mhm.
If it's male, you know, the bottom of the tail is where it stores the hemipenes.
So I
So
can't
there may be something weird going
can't
on
make
with
it make
the
it happen.
hemipenes. Yeah. So your best bet is to
Sell it to
just
someone who's not
sell it
trying
as
to
a
breed.
pet, someone who's
Mhm.
not going to breed. As long as it passes, as long as it eats and goes to the bathroom and does everything fine, then you know it can be a good pet for someone.
But you would have to greatly reduce the price of that.
But luckily, it's scaleless, so you can probably
So-
still get a good amount of money for it.
Because people still want the
Because
scaleless.
because people are buying scaleless just to have as a pet at this
Mhm.
point. You know, people
because
aren't.
they look
oh,
awesome.
Yeah, they're at a price point where you know if you spend maybe $600, you can get a visual and then maybe a great pet. If someone spends fucking $3,000 on their Great Dane, on their you know Doberman, whatever the hell, you know, dogs.
Different world, but yes.
Yeah, different world. But there are some people who will pay, you know, up to $1,000 for a pet
Mhm.
snake,
And
especially
so
if they're super cool.
I mean, just totally hypothetical. How much would you reduce the scaleless price by if it has a kink in it?
No idea. I think you could still probably sell an animal. It was, I would believe, Anery. Maybe it was Anery Tessera. Like he hit like a triple recessive
It was amazing,
on it or
and
something.
then got the kink.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say you may be reducing that to. I think you can probably still sell for at least $500.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think
still-
you're already
Still
made.
expensive just because
You're
it's a
doing
scaleless.
good. Yeah.
And did he explain what happened to get that kink? Did his
No, I mean it doesn't necessarily have to be. Corn snakes, they can survive those spikes, the eggs and stuff. It's only natural, you know. Think about Texas right now. Some snakes may have laid eggs, and today it's about 70 degrees. Yesterday was about 90 degrees.
Mhm.
So
So
think
they have
about the
to
eggs.
be
There's
used to
some
that.
natural variation in there. So
So
they
that
can
kink
definitely
could have
handle more,
happened
but
just
it could have happened from temperature. But then again, the whole clutch wasn't exhibiting it.
right.
So it may have just been, for whatever reason, that baby didn't develop the same as any of the others.
Interesting. But
Maybe
hey,
no
if you can
specific
still make
reason, it's just-
$500 on it.
You know, not all babies come out the same with humans, with anything.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, so you know, defects happen.
Yeah.
And then it's what's the word? It's not compounding, but you know, could be, you know, 15 eggs in a clutch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your chances for getting some physical defects, you know, get much higher than having one baby.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So he still, I mean, if the other 14 or the rest of the ones in the clutch were still good, it was a pretty positive outcome.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's like you have babies that are caught in umbilical, you know, just like humans.
Wait, there's
in the
umbilical
eggs.
cords with snakes? No, it's not connected.
Well, they're like egg yolk is connected through an umbilical, which is in like their belly button, like above their cloaca. So you can see, like when we get hatchlings, I'll show you. There's like a little slot to where the umbilical was, where the yolk was feeding the baby.
And it can get wrapped around the snake?
Yeah.
What?
And then, of course, so snake eggs need to be kept
up.
because
Mhm.
there's an air bubble at top, and that's where the snake's nose goes and breathes. But so there can be snakes that end up getting caught and drowned in the egg, stuff like that.
When they
So
go to breathe, or if it turns over?
if it turns over, or you know, gets caught in the umbilicus and isn't able to get back to that air bubble. So there's all types of things that can happen. It's
Right.
nature.
Just out of your control.
Even though we're controlling nature to our best abilities, nature still tends to happen sometimes.
All right. That sucks, but
You gotta kind of accept it as a cost of doing business if you're messing with Mother Nature.
right. And you still just keep going and sell it, and someone will find. Sorry, there's a
Wow.
bug. Oh, I got it.
Wow.
Ugh.
Glad you decided to do that during this.
Well, then we would have been messing with it the whole time. Sorry.
No,
Okay.
you would have been. I wouldn't give a
You
shit.
just did that when it was in your face. Shut up.
Yeah, but I kept on talking, right?
Okay. Do you have another topic to talk about? Sort of
No,
topics.
I thought we were talking until
Oh,
you.
well, we were just talking
slapped
about
the bug.
Mother Nature and messing with it
Right.
and
So
the
as
consequences.
like Eugene Bissett says,
who's that?
he's like a legend in the a lot of people don't know like the biggest legends in the reptile business. So it's like Mark Bell. Like a lot of people don't know him because he doesn't have social media. He doesn't do any of that stuff. But
How is he a
he's
legend
the biggest
then?
wholesaler. He has the biggest facility in Florida. Like
Okay.
he just does business to business. So he doesn't do to consumer a lot. He does have Reptimart, which if you Google that, you can find some animals. He does some cool like colubrid stuff. That he still has some old school colubrid stuff. So
he just got big.
but mostly, yeah, he does either Petco or PetSmart or one of those things, or he only does wholesale level. He also, if you see, I think it's Petco or I don't know. If you see the Arctic mouse, which is like these individual mouse things, I believe those are out of his facility. There's like pre-wrapped mice that you can get from Petco or PetSmart,
but
like just
isn't
individually wrapped.
In the breeding world, isn't it considered like not as, I don't know what the word is, I don't want to say valuable, but not as highly regarded if you sell to places like Petco and PetSmart?
That's where there's been definitely a shift, but there's definitely a place in the market for that kind of stuff.
So you can still be considered a legend if you only sell to places like that.
Well, because you started the market. So where do most of the people nowadays starting out with reptiles? Like I was an anomaly to the fact that my dad knew where to go to a reptile show to get it. But we also had a local pet shop where we got a bunch of our snakes and stuff like that. So back in the day, there was not as many Petcos and PetSmarts, if any. So you would go to a local shop where there would be, your reptile weirdo, your, different things so you can learn. It was a much better experience, honestly, because these people kept the snakes personally.
And they were knowledgeable.
Yeah, unfortunately now we've big boxed up that experience and served it to everyone in the same bland, unknowledgeable package.
Right. Because you don't have to know about snakes to work at Petco.
No, you don't have to know about anything. In high school, I applied to a Petco, and Eric worked there. Did you not
get the job?
Eric worked there, and I didn't get it. At least I never got called. I'm like the only one who kept animals out of all the people that worked at Petco, and I didn't get the call because that's not what matters.
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
But, that's a good way. It gives more exposure to reptiles. So there's always corn snakes. There's always ball pythons there. So it allows, kids to see reptiles and say, hey, I want that. And then their parents go into it. And then if they're like, oh, I really like these ball python things, they Google it, they YouTube it, and then they find the breeders out there that are having it, that are breeding them.
Mark Bell made that connection between, before Petco and that was big. He was giving them to them when Petco was getting bigger.
And we're talking about like he's been doing it probably since the 60s or 70s.
Oh shit, so a long time.
So he started obviously on the hobby level and then worked up to get the farm and to supply, big box stores and that stuff. But yeah, he didn't necessarily start. The thing is, he is like a reptile breeder for real.
Even
just build up over time, who wholesales.
But I think if someone went straight to that today,
well, you really can't, because you would have to sink in so much money initially
to get to that level.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not that it's not worth it. It's that, he spent decades building that
to get to the point where he could wholesale like that to businesses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I was trying to we didn't get to actually the Eugene Bissett thing, right?
Sorry.
He says that not all the tomatoes make it to the salad bar. So it's like, you're going to have things that die. Yeah, that's just really it.
Okay.
That was a more interesting conversation, I think, that we went down. But the wholesaling, I think, it shouldn't be frowned upon to the way, because, Petco and PetSmart are trying to increase their keeping of that and knowledge. So I know the Gourmet Rodent, which is another company very much like the Bells, who, they're trying to get training programs, and I think they do training programs in Petco's or PetSmarts, whatever one they work with. I think it's PetSmart. but they're trying to train the employees to, obviously they do mostly leopard geckos for them, so they're trying to train the employees to, keep the animals correctly and give out the proper information. So
But is it really? I mean, I feel like you can't fault the Petco people because they're not just keeping reptiles. They're not just dealing. They're dealing with
no,
fish.
you have to have a very general knowledge.
Right. You can't fault them for not knowing.
You can't know everything. If you're gonna know the most you can, you have to specialize.
Right.
And that's just not an option.
The only way is if Petco, has people that are specific to one department. They have the fish people.
Even then, you have to be the leopard gecko people, because if someone asked me how to keep a leopard gecko, I'd be like, go ask someone else. That is not. I am no help to you in that department. So.
Okay, so yeah, it's just not possible in a store like that sells such a variety to have enough people who are so knowledgeable.
Right. Yeah, and then they do have now, I believe they have vet visits like every 2 weeks to check on their animals, or every few weeks, whatever the number is. But they have vets come and check on their animals. But, you still see the picture of someone posts up there and then people rescue them from there. And
but
that's
they're
just
trying.
The worst.
The big box stores are trying.
Right. And then, I mean, it's just a very important aspect of that's the only way. It's one of the ways you're going to get new blood into the industry.
Mm-hmm.
If big box stores go away, then, where's that initial
grab?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How do they just stumble across it somewhere else? You can't really.
But why are there not?
Have to be looking.
Why are there not any local pet shops anymore?
Because they were just driven out by the big box stores, just like how there's no local supermarkets anymore.
Yeah.
Like when I lived in Oswego, there was like actual local supermarkets,
and now
because they didn't seem it feasible to.
Now they're trying to do the local like Trader
now
Joe's.
Everything's going more
local.
Right. So I think that even in snakes, what goes is you start by going to your big box store, and then you go to a boutique. Just like someone likes fashion, they may have seen something that they like at fucking Kohl's, and then you're like, oh, that's for the birds. I'm gonna go check out this little boutique where someone actually cares about all the little things that they care about. So you're getting this initial person that says, I just want a snake. And then they start to realize, like, first of all, the big box stores pay double, since all they're doing is buying from us at the price that we sell it for to the market.
Right, they have to make money.
They mark it up like fucking crazy. So they're saying, so your snakes look better, they cost half the price.
I'm not going to buy from the big box stores
anymore. And you actually give a shit,
and
you're keeping it correctly, and you will give me an experience that, will make me successful with the animal. If I ask you questions, stuff like that, like the service, everything,
right.
You're going to go to that breeder.
That makes sense.
Instead of the big box store again.
So there's a need for the big box stores as the way to get people in.
It's an entry in a way, yeah.
And you just hope that people go to the, the real breeders and after that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just hard. I mean, how else do you... Reptile shows are very, reclusive. To where it's...
Or not exclusive.
Well, or like reclusive in the way that they're in like a small... you go in back of the VFW and there's a reptile show. It's not really out there as much.
Mm-hmm. Do you think reptile shows are declining or increasing?
No, they're definitely increasing. The reptile hobby in general is increasing.
Okay.
So I think that people are just getting, first of all, it's much easier to keep reptiles than it was back in the day. And there's much more captive animals than there was before, and they're easier to keep now because we have the infrastructure to do so. We have the rack systems, we have the caging, we have the heat pads, we have heat tape, all these things that have made the industry what it is today. It's all been built off of back in even the 90s. You were having animals with mites on them, with all types of issues, who weren't feeding well, and we've done all we can to combat those issues. So it's
just a lot easier. A lot of the hard work, guess and check type stuff has been done.
And everyone's done the, what temperature do I keep do I keep this at? What humidity? People have done the hard work already. So, you don't have to go through killing an animal just to find out how it's kept.
Also, there's easier access to learn about those things,
Yeah, so there's easier access for all the niche markets, to get into weird stuff because the internet, because once you figure out one thing about it, you can go and say, holy shit, I'm really into this, and go into a rabbit hole and read about it for hours and hours. So I think it's just it all comes together to, definitely build the reptile hobby.
Do you think that like legends in the snake world today are different from legends of the snake world 30 years ago? Like, are they legends for different reasons?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, and keep in mind that the people back in the 80s, if they're still doing the same things they did in the 80s, that's no bueno. Like, that's not cool anymore. I think it's important for the new generation to upgrade what, the standards of keeping and stuff like that. That's why we don't keep our snakes in fish tanks with red light bulbs on them anymore.
But
so
I'm saying legend wise, like you said, like Mark Bell's known for like bringing it to the Petco and to the wholesale. Other people, the legends of his time, are they legendary for different things than people of today are legendary for? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, because back in the day, it was, can you keep this species?
And that
all
makes
right, you got a little popular at then. Or if you're like Crutchfield, it's like, could you go to Australia and smuggle that species?
Right, and so that's what made him legendary,
legendary
for illegal
for smuggling. And then you're the first to keep that species,
okay,
a certain status symbol, and then you're the first to breed that species. Holy shit, like that's top of the top. But nowadays, it's more like,
what do you have to do to become legendary today?
It just depends on everyone's different ideas, because people who love Brian Barczyk, he's legendary for a different reason. But everyone in the hobby hates him.
But he's legendary to some people.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, to most people, he is the watermark now, like the high tide mark, like where you can get to, but for a much different reason, because he's become successful in other ways than just snake breeding. But then you have other guys who really, now it's about people who specify in one animal and keep on going to the depths and creating
of that
new
one.
Yeah, so it's like Don Soderbergh, who's making, just crazy looking corn snakes and all of that, or the Loves, who were, back in the day, they kind of started rising in the corn. They kind of made the whole corn snake keeping what it is today and breeding and stuff like that.
So what are the Loves legendary? Well, you say, like, what specifically are the Loves legendary for?
Well, they were just really into corn snakes and made great corn snakes. That's pretty much it. So I think today, if you're doing something, you might as well, do your one thing really, really well. Don't try to do everything, because there's enough people.
But I think that's today. That's the new, that's the thought of today. I think 30, 40 years ago, that wouldn't have been the thought.
30, 40 years. Well, what the market wanted 30, 40 years ago, or 20 years ago, 10 years ago, was a bunch of different species at your table, or else they don't think you're worth anything, or you don't have enough customers to make any money. So nowadays,
variety is less
of a factor. But because the internet allows you to get in the corners of all these little places, and yeah, it allows you to get into all these little corners to where you can reach all the people that like carpet pythons. You can reach all the people that like specific subspecies of carpet pythons. So on the internet, you're allowed to
specialize,
go deeper. Yeah, you can go much deeper and stay more narrow in your focus, which allows you to care for the animals better, allows you to breed more consistently, and also, put on, or, move your projects forward, because you're focused just on that one thing. Instead of having your mind in a million different places, you can be much more focused with it.
I wonder if it'll ever switch back.
It is switching back slowly. Why? Because ball pythons are kind of falling out of the money realm, Because back in the day, it was you spend $50,000 on a ball python and you're set. Like, you reproduce, you're gonna sell
forever
6 babies for $30,000 the next year, and then you're gonna sell, and then you're gonna hold back 3 of those, and you're gonna produce 20 of them for $10,000, 15,000. So you're making money. Now, there's just so many different morphs out there and stuff like that that most of the impressive ones are found already.
Really? Okay.
So, like, you're not going to get your bright yellow, like banana.
You can't have
probably,
that one because it's already around.
I mean, things will still pop up, but it's going to be less frequent because the market's so saturated now.
So they're having to go back to variety slowly.
Yeah, because people are like, I don't know about ball pythons. Seems unstable. Seems a little expensive to get into. Like,
but see, I feel like the shows don't show that.
No, not yet.
The shows haven't caught up to that yet.
I mean, they do, though. Some comparison to where it was before.
Okay.
Surprisingly, even though I know it's terrible now, all it is fucking ball pythons. Right. But it's slowly getting back to people having more interest in all different things. And also, that's up to the people who are producing them to bring people into whatever they're into.
Rephrase that.
So it used to be like everyone was marketing for ball pythons.
Okay.
Now I feel like everyone's kind of into their own thing and showing all their own stuff. So people who have ball pythons necessarily aren't just ball python people.
They're doing other stuff.
Other stuff, yeah.
Okay. And they're bringing in people to the other stuff that they're interested in.
Right. And then I just think that, and now those rare species are becoming more valuable just because of the rarity, even though they may have been around so readily 20 years ago. They're now rare again, which means they're valuable. So
then if there's the rare species are valuable, why are we switching back to, why I need to have my other hand to talk with my hand to do my hand thing. If those rare species are becoming more valuable, is the market slowly switching to, or like the legend, why is it becoming more variable if those rare species are becoming more valuable? Does that make sense?
I think you were just making my point because because people are drawn to the rarity thing and to the value thing.
Right. So if you have that one species that's super rare and super valuable, why is it slowly switching to not focusing on that one?
No, it's switching back to that rare species because rarity was created in ball pythons because of the genes. So your rarity was coming in the fact that you only had 1/16th chance to hit this. So there's only one of these in the world, and then you can breed that and then create something that's even harder to,
So you're not going to have a bunch of them.
Yeah, but now the genes are so convoluted and they're all over the place that there's much more, and there's a lot of genes that do the same thing. And quite frankly, there's a lot of genes that people sell that are fucking the same shit that's been around for a little while.
You're pulling this.
So it's like now it's becoming way too flooded, a little bit noisy. So that rarity is kind of going away because you're seeing, I've seen the black and yellow before. You can only push the boundaries so far.
Right, and to get that one. So
how much different was a pied from everything else when it first started?
I don't know.
You go, holy fuck.
I still say I say holy fuck
do.
Today. I'm like, pies are awesome.
Yeah, there's not many of those coming out anymore. If something like a pied comes out, that thing's $50,000.
See, why aren't they? I don't get if they're so awesome and everyone loves it. Why are they not coming out more? If they're so amazing to look at and stuff.
They are, but the thing is that
they're not.
Yeah, but mutations are becoming, people are like, oh, this one keeps a speck on its left eye every breeding we do. People are just nitpicking, and half of them are true, half of them aren't.
What are you looking
now at? No, I'm just looking at you.
So people are not making those pies as much anymore.
No, people are, but that's the thing. There's so many of them.
Oh, okay.
Because supply and demand, right?
Business school.
We're going to go through economics.
We're gonna go back to
so the supply of pies.
Yes.
When they first came in the country.
Yes.
Maybe sold for $50,000. There was one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they made hets.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's one visual and there's 6 hets out there.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to want to buy that het because they want it on that project.
To make more visuals later.
So, yep. So that het's worth $50,000 because it's the only one. But we've been breeding that for 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's thousands of pieds out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the demand is not as high as it was because there's 50,000 of them to meet demand. So naturally, they go down in value.
And the supply goes down.
No, the supply goes up. So the demand and the value goes down.
But why are people supplying more if the demand's going down?
Because all it's doing is driving price down. It's opening the price point to more people. So now you're able to sell it as a pet for maybe you're selling it as a pet for like $200. So a lot more people are willing. That's the reason why you put the price down, because a lot more people are willing to spend $200 for a pied instead of $50,000.
God, they're so beautiful. I'd pay so much more for it, but
right.
But there's just so many, so
yeah. So
there's no point in paying so much.
But it's the people in the market who know the value.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, really, it's just a pyramid scheme, the whole reptile thing.
How so?
Just the more you pay, the more you get out of it. So you buy a $50,000 snake,
you're gonna make money.
You're making the money. Someone who buys in at the $200 level is going to get smaller return. So what do you have to do? What do you have to do to make money? Work up the pyramid and buy that expensive snake, and then you're feeding off those sorry little fucks before, like you were, right, and then giving them your little scraps or scraps. Give me your scraps. Your scraps for that lower price point. So if you can work your way up the ladder, then you're doing good.
Or if you just have a rich uncle in the beginning of it and buy a $50,000 snake.
Yeah, I mean, that's honest, and it's a sound investment if you have an investor in place.
Rich uncles, all the rich uncles out there.
But I mean, you've seen that 1,000 times.
What? Someone and it works out to it at the top.
And it works out a couple times.
Well, because
no one has that real passion for it.
Right. It doesn't usually match.
It weeds itself out.
You don't usually have high passion and high money, which is weird. Why does it not? Why are those not a thing? Like a lot where the high passion and you're rich.
Yeah. I mean, if you're thinking, like Justin Kabelka, obviously, he got $100,000 from his uncle to start his business.
I think I know who that is, but I'm not sure.
So he got $100,000, but the thing is, he has the vision, he has the marketing know-how, he likes snakes, and he just has everything in place to be successful. If he just had the money in mind and no vision, so what he did before anyone was doing it, he's putting out just recessives.
Really?
So he's working with just recessive because he knows that incomplete dominance, you can produce more, so that supply is going to go up.
People will buy those recessives and make their own.
But not even really, because people are short-sighted, so they will buy a recessive and then lose interest before they even breed it out.
Wow.
So incomplete dominance, you can breed in one season and supply, the market with 10 more of them or 5 more of them. So the fact is that the supply goes up faster, so the demand, so so the price is naturally going to go down as the supply goes up.
Yes. I'm saying yes, but I'm so lost.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, there's just going to be, it's harder to make recessives. That's the name of the game, so there's going to be less made.
Why is it harder to make
higher.
Recessives?
Because some people don't take the time to breed hets to hets.
Because they just want to see it.
So they're like, fuck all that work, dude. I got to wait like 10 years to see
and
this.
You're not even sure, right? You breed
shit.
Once and you're not sure. You might have to breed again and again and again.
This incomplete dominant and get it out. Get it out. And make some money, I don't want to have this brown looking normal snake. How am I ever going to sell that? Plus, like, what do I do with it? I don't want to look at these brown snakes. So, that's what people do. Well, and that's a short-sighted way.
All hets are brown snakes. It's not.
No, yes, all hets they're normals. I'm talking about ball pythons.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So they're just brown and black. So people don't have the long sightedness.
So Justin Kobelka, how do you say his last name?
Kabelka?
Kobelka was doing ball pythons.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But he had the vision to do just recessives because recessives are going to be it's going to be your most sustainable market. He was thinking
Instagram's
20
ending.
years ahead
Instead of right now.
instead of,
Right. Bye,
looking
Instagram.
for a quick
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, sorry.
Instead of, looking for the quick money.
Mm-hmm.
So he made a very sound business decision in the beginning.
But he also
to do
had
what he did.
money given to him.
Right.
So he wouldn't have been able to do it without
but
it.
not everyone can do it, even if they were given that money, is what I'm
Very
saying.
true, very true. But why is it that doesn't have, like, why
also,
does
he put together like pattern mutations and recessive mutations that no one thought of. And he's like, this is going to be awesome. Like genes that were forgot of. And he's doing it. Forgot of. Yeah, like they were forgotten. So, so he put those, things that no one thought of putting together. So he has a vision beyond what other people have, is what I'm saying. So he does have skill and has all the things
right.
to
He
make
had
it
the
happen.
things.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering again why it doesn't happen very often. Why the people who have the money don't have the passion and the skill? Why does that happen so much?
Because they're just looking for a return.
But why? I guess I don't know.
And people tend to think, because for whatever reason, people think that the return happens quickly in reptiles. They don't think that, just like any other business, it may take 3 to 5 years to break even.
To see something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like you're starting any other business, that's the break even point is usually within like 3 to 5 years. So you got to be patient. And some people who just want money aren't willing to be patient, because they just want money and they want it now. So people who are always in search for money tend to, get in and out really quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, good you're not impatient and you have the passion, and we're hoping it'll pay off one day.
Well, and we're really just going to go heavy on the supply side because we don't want to worry about having to, produce animals for money. Because if you're
supplying enough, you're going to make the money.
Meaning, like, I want to have a multifaceted business. I don't want to have to worry just on breeding reptiles, just on selling reptiles, because I'm afraid that in order to make my bills, I will have to make sacrifices in the animals' welfare or
what you want to go for.
Right.
Just because of market changes and stuff. You want to still be able to do what you want.
I still want to be able to be fair and do everything I can while not solely depending on a sale of a reptile.
And while not struggling for
money. Not, picking up crumbs. So, yeah. And then, I mean, it's animals. So if your incubator fucking breaks and the heat goes off,
we don't want
and you lose all your clutches,
to not.
Then you're like, wait, how am I going to pay for everything this whole year? That walk-in incubator had all my clutches in it. Yeah.
Dollar signs going away.
I just think that it's smart in any business to have your main course, but also have your sides. So
main course.
Or just, you need your bread and butter, but you need, things that are going to bring revenue in so that you're not solely dependent. So when something falls through and something goes wrong, you're not freaking the fuck out.
Good references. And with that, I'm hungry. And let's say goodbye.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. What else?
Watch YouTube.
Yeah, you can catch me on Theportcitypythons, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
And if you take any of his pictures, do not put your watermark.
Ask me before you try to steal them,
please.
Also, what was I about to say? You can download this. If you are listening, you have downloaded this on SoundCloud, iTunes, or Stitcher, or whatever app you're using on your phone.
No, people are on YouTube and Facebook right now.
I know, but what I'm trying to say to people who downloaded it is you can watch it live at 5 on Tuesdays on YouTube, Facebook, and all that other stuff.
Okay, well, someone just joined on Facebook, but we're leaving, so bye.
Later.
Sorry.
And we're still on. All right, secret YouTube viewing. because we.
Click stop.
I'm trying. That's why I'm saying this is the secret. We're only talking to YouTube. What do you have to say to YouTube?
No, it says 3. Oh.
Meaning like no one else.
Hi, Ann.
I'm not even recording on Audible anymore.
Audition? Audible's where you
Yeah, that's where you listen. See you guys later.